And welcome to another Just Enough Heshy show. I want you all to know that it was a good week for me. I was in Washington for the protest. I interviewed hundreds of people. I was only able to put together 19. Sawyer didn't come with me.
You left me behind.
No. You said your hair wasn't good, so you couldn't come.
Heshy.
You couldn't come. I know. They're looking at it. I gave her the information for tonight's show. She's only looking it over now. Very good of you, Sawyer. But Sawyer, you look so pretty tonight, and your makeup looks great.
Okay. Later on, save it for Linda's birthday tomorrow.
Right. It is Linda's birthday tomorrow, everybody.
Save it for tomorrow.
Sawyer wants to know what I'm buying her. I'm not buying her. She took all my money. I have nothing I could buy her, so I'm taking her out to dinner with the family at her
And jewelry.
No jewelry.
Jewelry every year.
No.
It's her birthday.
Matter of fact, she bought me a watch for my birthday.
So you owe her.
I owe her nothing.
Twice as big.
She has
twice as much.
I don't have the money. Anyways.
Whatever she gives, you got to give double back.
The show.
That's the rule.
You keep interrupting me. Anyways, I'm taking her to a Pisgah. It's a restaurant in Queens, 147-25 Union Turnpike. All of our boys over here, Ezra Levy's people go there. You know, the Syrian Jews over there. They love it there.
They have good food.
Plus, I legalized his outside.
I've never been there, so that's good to know.
Oh, so come tomorrow. Bring your wife. It's on me. I know
I
you
thought
can't.
you have no money.
I don't have money, but you have even less with those 5 children.
Okay.
Don't go with him. He's buying his wife jewelry.
By the way, you see, I got the number right.
Got the number right today.
Wow, and you're not even talking into the mic to agree. But
You got the number right.
Good.
All right.
So I want you to come to dinner. Bring the wife, not the kids. I cannot afford the kids. Okay. Anyways, we have a wonderful show tonight. By the way, Ezra, how are you, my delicious friend?
I'm good. How are you, Heshy?
Are you happy with me today?
Sure, yes. You came through today.
I finally gave him an approved set of plans. Well,
how many months?
7.
No.
Excuse me. First of all,
8.
By the way, they're not fully approved. He doesn't know I didn't get the.
I do know.
It wasn't one little teeny tiny problem. It was a really complicated thing,
was.
and there was a lot more
He
to
knows.
it.
Yes,
Because if it was a teeny tiny little thing, it would have been done 7 months ago.
Pages in order.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people's cases he's working on every single day?
Okay.
Seriously,
Anyways.
I called him
As
3
long as I
times
don't
this
get
week for
stop
people that called.
As long as I don't get a stop order, I don't care.
But
Okay.
well, he never. Anyways, everybody, we're going to start our show. We have a wonderful guest on the show today that Ezra's going to talk about. Ezra defends people like this gentleman on the show. He's writing a book called Sentenced by. Where is it? I have the name. Sentenced by Dan Genis. A book about his exploits. He was called the Apologetic Bandit. The way he robbed people was in a nice way. We'll talk about that. Sawyer, who's paying for our show tonight?
Plaza Auto Leasing. They are not only a leasing company, but also a dealership. You get the best of both worlds, the flexibility to lease or buy any vehicle, make or model, combined with quick service, huge inventory, and easy approvals. There is no finance manager to meet with, just a friendly pal sales representative that can handle most of the transaction from start to finish without you even having to step foot in their office. All you have to do is place your order, and they will even deliver your car right to your door. What are you waiting for? Become a pal today and call Plaza Auto Leasing. You can reach Plaza Auto Leasing at 718-975-9000. That's 718-975-9000. You can also check out their website at www.plazaautoleasing.com, located at 2750 Nostrand Avenue on the corner of Nostrand Avenue and Avenue N. Call 718-975-9000 and become a pal today. And don't forget to tell them Uncle Heshy sent you.
718-975-9000. Plaza Auto Leasing. Wonderful.
Green Line Building Solutions, Preservation and Development, Fire Department, Criminal Court, Department of Finance, Environmental Control Board, Building Consulting, Violations Removal, Construction Management, Owner Compliance, Contracting, Licensed Department of Building Expeditors, Designs, professionals for all your building solutions. 202 Foster Avenue. That's 718-871-0382. You can reach Greenline Building Solutions for all your building problems at 718-871-0382.
718-871-0382. And you can ask Ezra if I finally took care of it. It took me 7 months, but I finally took care of it. Right, Ezra?
It got taken care of.
Oh, wow. He's not saying it in a nice, happy way. Wow.
Law
Actually, my
offices.
mother-in-law's very happy. I did call before the show to tell her we got it.
I heard it. It was so sweet.
Yes.
Law offices of Ezra Levy, specializing in all criminal matters, including weapon possessions, drug offenses, domestic violence, theft offenses, assaults, DWI, criminal and family court, orders of protections, defense for all your legal woes. 917-755-1187. You can call, text, WhatsApp. Just call Ezra Levy at 917-755-1187. He will keep you out of jail and minimize all your problems.
Ezra, what's your number?
917-755-1187.
You know, Ezra, Sawyer is upset I didn't buy water this week for the show.
Yeah, I'm a little
That's
thirsty
the
also.
least you
I'm
could
a
do
little
for us.
thirsty as well.
How cheap can you be?
I didn't have money. I have to burn.
Yeah. Why? Because your haircut, you need to keep yourself handsome?
I get the haircut for free now.
Baruch's Barbershop, located at 108 Avenue I. You can reach Baruch's Barbershop at 718-758-5187. That's 718-758-5187. Or call, text, or WhatsApp Baruch personally to schedule your appointment. I love that. You can personally get a personal appointment on somebody's phone. You couldn't do that years ago. 347-845-9131. That's 347-845-9131. The official singing barber of Heshy Tishler.
And I love you, Baruch. 108 Avenue Y. You can even pop into him. And while you wait, he sings to you. So I don't think you should come early and not pop in. You don't want him to sing. No, he's a delicious singer. He's wonderful. He sings at a lot of events. He's very good. Thank you, Baruch, for all your community, what you do for our community, and how you cut my hair and you make me look somewhat decent.
Heshy, did you get any traffic tickets this week?
I am in big trouble, man.
I thought he was going to say no, and I was going to say that was a new one.
I'm scared to call James. I swear to you, I know he's going to kill me. I texted him when I was, I went to Woodmere for pizza night this week to visit my sister-in-law.
And you were texting while?
And I didn't text while. And then I texted that I was there. And then James says, hey, you're in Woodmere, next to my house. You're buying pizza, but I'm out of town. I didn't want to tell him that, you know, these lights, they keep giving me tickets and the cop pulls you over. I mean, James.
They're picking on you.
They are picking on me.
Everywhere. All five boroughs, Nassau County, Suffolk County.
Every county he goes on, they're picking on him. Attorney's Office of
driving.
James Meadow, highly ranked traffic lawyer, former criminal lawyer, dedicated to all moving violations throughout New York State. James handles all points-related moving violations in New York City, Long Island, and upstate New York. Speeding, red lights, cell phone, stop sign, failure to yield. Those are Heshy's offenses. And improper turn on traffic offenses with stiff penalties, including huge fines, points, increased insurance rates, suspension of your driver's license, and even being arrested. The law office of James Meadow is your best bet and your best chance of beating your traffic ticket. 845-TICKETS or 917, is that his cell phone? You're giving out his cell phone now?
Yeah.
917-856-1247. That's 917-856-1247. Or can you WhatsApp him on his cell phone?
I think you can. I've texted
There's another
him.
number, 845-842-5387. But the easiest one to remember is 845-TICKETS for all those offenders out there.
Right, well.
Or just Heshy.
Sawyer, somebody called me this week from Rikers Island. He's in trouble. I'm trying to help him get out. And he says, we love, when we listen to your show, we love Sawyer. I says, oh, my God. Then somebody says to me, another guy takes the phone and says, where's Bloomy? Where's Bloomy? I said,
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Bloomy might come to visit next week.
But Bloomy, his name is Boomy.
I know.
Okay.
But Bloomy might be coming next week to visit us.
Okay,
Maybe,
so let
maybe.
Bloomy come. Got it.
Wait, so
Traveler's
people are calling from
choice.
Rikers Island, not calling me?
He just called me. He needs money or whatever.
Everybody,
I'll call you.
all the phone calls I'm getting from lately from people, they're in like Punta Cana, they're Mexico,
Right, we're gonna
Mexico,
talk
they're
about
in
that.
they're in Florida, they're everywhere but New York. And I know that Traveler's Choice, Joseph and Devorah Leifer, are taking a lot of calls, and you can reach them at 212-868-8698 for all your local, international travel, your car rental, your hotel. They will make all your arrangements from A to Z. You can reach Joseph and Devorah Leifer at 212-868-8698. And Traveler's Choice is your only choice for
I
travel.
was on the phone with Traveler's Choice like 4 times this week. Somebody didn't have a passport. They helped him get an emergency. You can't do any more regular appointments. He helped him get emergency appointments to go to Israel. With
You
a
should take
passport.
Linda to Florida.
Okay, she doesn't want to go. I'm trying. I need the vacation. I'm thinking of going without her. That's how desperate.
What does she need? You have to give her what she needs. It's her birthday.
She needs me. That's all she needs. And then Traveler's Choice helped me with a child's visa to go out of the country. Traveler's Choice, everybody. is your only choice for travel and all advice for traveling. 212-868-8698. By the way,
One more, we have Attorney Office of Abraham Hoshender for all your closing and contractual needs, whether you're a buyer or seller, need help clearing up a title, buying or selling a home, whether commercial or residential. For the best legal assistance any present or future property owner can get, call the law offices of Abraham Hoshender today, 347-435-3402. That's 347-435-3402.
by the way, everybody.
Shout out.
Not yet. You can call into the show tonight, 718-289-0070.
That's 718-289-0070.
Ask any questions.
I'll try not to hang up on you.
Okay, well, she will, most likely. If you want to advertise on the Just Enough Heshy show, you can email me at justenoughheshy@gmail.com. You can watch our show on YouTube, Just Enough Heshy. Facebook, Just Enough Heshy. You could Twitter me, Just Enough Heshy. You can Instagram, Just Enough Heshy. And I put out, if you join these things for Just Enough Heshy, you'll see my daily 2, 3, 4 minute videos, funny stuff I put out, or just like, so I was in Washington this week, and I made 19-minute video, but a different videos. I broke it down, or I put it together on YouTube, and they were pretty funny. People were so cordial to me. They loved me. It was really good. And even today's video that we had, oh, by the way, everybody, you can ask questions on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and ask
Super chats.
Super chats. You can ask any question you want. It's very good. By the way, I am going to do I'm giving away, I got another box of 100 home test kits of COVID. I don't like them, but I got them from our Assemblyman Simcha Eichenstein, and I'm going to be giving them out. If anybody who needs it, you can email me, text me, pop by the office and pick some up, and I'll give it to you. It's $2 really per person, or I'll give you a location where I'm going to be, Musabi, on Sunday, and you can all come and pick me up somewhere in Borough Park or Flatbush. But if you email me, I'll get them to you another way. Anyways, shout out to my beautiful, lovely Mira Nava, my granddaughter, and Layla Tamar. They're on a boat.
Mira Nava, Lila Tamar.
Now, they're on a cruise, but they make you wear the mask, and then you're going into bars and restaurants. So why would you go on it's stupid. Then my son says, well, we don't have to wear a mask all over. It doesn't make sense. That's why you get sick. Either you wear the mask or you don't wear the mask. I don't know.
Didn't finish on shout-outs. We got Dov and Shani Hyken, Sergeant Peters, your friend Ellie, my one and only beautiful Shoshana.
Beautiful.
And who else do we have?
I don't know.
Richie Taylor. Shout out to Richie Taylor. Inspector.
It's not deputy, inspector.
Inspector.
By the way, I might bump into him. There's a funeral Friday.
He's everywhere.
But there's a funeral Friday for the fallen.
Officer Rivera.
Officer Rivera, in front of what is it? St. Patrick's Cathedral. There'll be 20,000 police officers. Pete the cop told me about it. I'm going there, and I'm sure Rich will be there. But I'm never going to see him. 20,000 people. I'm going to try to squeeze all the way to the
You'll
front.
see him. He's everywhere.
I know, but I'm going to go to that funeral. I'm going to pay my respects to Officer Rivera, and I want you to know they are fallen heroes, just like our sanitation people. They work so hard for us. They're all our heroes. I bumped into 2 firemen in Washington. I did videos with them, and they love me. The reason that I love them is because in every state, these guys put their lives on the line every single day.
Do you know, driving over here, on the way over here,
Yeah.
there was a fire truck passing, and I'm just really disgusted. People don't pull up. People don't pull over.
Yeah.
Somebody's house is on fire.
Right.
Somebody's getting burned. Somebody's getting hurt.
Right.
Somebody's grandmother, somebody's mother, somebody's father, brother, child.
Okay.
Pull over. You see a fire truck, even a police car. But I'm just saying, you see a fire truck. There's a fire.
Okay, let's get on with the show because we're going to have a caller soon. Our caller, by the way, I want to tell you a little bit about the caller tonight before I tell you my joke and quote of the day. He was in jail for about a year on Rikers. He had 10 heists. They called him the Apologetic Bandit. By the way, the heists were alleged 10 heists. He was caught after holding up a 7-Eleven, and he told the clerk, "Have a good night, man. Sorry." He apologized. He was an alleged thief. He was Apologetic Bandit. He also held up supposedly 10 gas stations, convenience stores in Orange County over the past year. His name is He was arrested. He's writing a beautiful book. This guy, Farid Sharif, 19, was arrested January after allegedly committing an armed robbery. I don't know. Convenience store. Who
He's
knows?
1 second. He's 19 years old.
No. It was
Name's
done.
Dan, right?
Yeah.
I was going to
Anyways,
say his mother raised him
but
right.
let me just
He
tell you.
apologizes.
Let me tell you about the apology. He's writing a book about life inside jail. He was in debt to a drug dealer. He was a heroin addict. Robbed 10 people over a weekend, giving them their wallets back and apologizing. Isn't that cool? He was the apologetic man, and he threw the book at him. They threw the book at him, and he was college educated. And he said he had no excuses. The book is called Sentence by Dan Genis. It's going to be coming out. It's very cool, and I can't wait to see it. Anyways, everybody, I'm going to tell you my quote of the day. And as you know, I went to Washington to fight for our freedom. And many people tell me, keep fighting for our freedom, Heshy. Last night I went to another wedding, and somebody says, well, Heshy, we're embarrassed that you scream so loud, but we want you to continue doing what you do. I said, how do I continue doing what I'm doing without screaming so loud? You people are not doing it. And then about 20 other people screaming at him, they said, no, we want Heshy to do what he does. Now, maybe they were joking or not, it makes no difference. Maybe they were just happy to see a show. But here is my quote of what happened in Washington. Freedom is never voluntarily given to the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. You got that?
Yes.
Okay, you see? Freedom makes a huge requirement of every human being. With freedom comes responsibility. The person who does not want to carry his own weight, this is a frightening prospect. Freedom is never given, it is won. Do we fight for one man's freedom only, or for all men? And I believe we fight for all men. Anyways, that was that. And now I'm going to tell you my funny joke. It might be a little bit about Linda as well. Linda was babysitting Mira Nava, our 3-year-old granddaughter. And they were trying to put her to sleep in our house one day. Anyways, she was just playing with the bedtime. She was pushing it off as usual. So Linda, the grandmother, told her, let's start counting sheep and fall asleep. Anyways, the 3-year-old started counting 1 and 2, and then after a little while, it became quiet, and Linda fell asleep next to her. All of a sudden, Mira wakes her up and says, Grandma, or Bobby, whatever, and Linda says, yes, and she says, oh, I got to 38 sheep. That's it, she wasn't sleeping. Not funny? Okay. I thought it was funny. Anyways.
I was falling asleep while he was counting.
I know. Look at that. Look at that. He even flipped his hand to me like that. You know what I mean? Look at how nice you are.
I love you, but come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyways, I had another joke somewhere, but I guess I lost it.
Just skip it.
I will skip it. I want to make more fun of Linda. Oh, yeah. So here's what I was telling Linda the other day. I said, Linda, a normal guy speaks 10,000 words a day. I said a woman speaks 40,000 words a day. Do you think that's normal? Like you, so you never shut up. So Linda answers me back.
How do you know it's 40,000? You're counting them? And you're still awake. I don't think it's 40,000
because
then.
she's so annoying. Anyways, Linda mentions to me the reason she does it 40,000 because she has to do 4 times the 10,000. I'm sure that was an old joke, but Linda said it anyway.
There's a lot of jokes. I can tell you a few too.
Anyways, let's take a phone call. Let's take phone call from, pick up the call. Hello?
Hi, this is Daniel Genis. How you doing?
Hello, Daniel. Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
I just want to tell everybody.
Hi.
I read some of your bio. I know that you have a book called Sentence by Dan Genis, but I want you to do. I have a criminal defense lawyer sitting next to us. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, and you could tell us if you want to tell us what you did or not what you did. I mean, and tell us what the book is about a little bit. And
I will be happy to. And I was listening before, and you said some kind things about me. I almost feel like I really don't deserve the things you said, but
Dan, I just want to tell you, Dan, I want to tell you something. I go visit people in jail. I have people who come out of jail and stay by me for months and years. I believe everybody needs to be, sometimes they're lost, and sometimes they just need to be found or guided or just helped along. I have many people that came through my house. I have people there now who are so happy and doing wonderful things. One did this wrong and that wrong. And I want you to know, Dan, people can change their lives, and you are going to be one of our inspirations on the show tonight that will tell us how it came about and how good you're doing. Talk to us, Dan. Tell us about yourself.
That's kind of you. I mean, to begin with, I kind of showed contrition right at the scene of the crime because I really didn't want to commit them. But I don't want to give justifications or excuses. What I'd rather say is I constantly write about crime and prisons. Whenever they need an article about somebody who's escaped or about Jeffrey Epstein going to jail or something like that, they come to me. And the book that I have coming out, it's a kind of a big book by, Viking is putting it out with a lot of fanfare, and it'll be out on February 22nd. And what it is a description from the inside, basically everything you wanted to know about what it's like in jail, but from the point of view of somebody who's, let's say, not used to that kind of life. When I was inside, Chabad helped me very much through the whole time. I worked for 4 rabbis inside, so I really found myself and my Jewish self inside.
Yeah, Dan, I want to ask you a question, Dan.
Yes, sir.
What jail were you in? Were you in a state jail?
I was in 12 different facilities, starting with Rikers Island and then going through the maxes of New York State and finishing in the mediums of New York State.
When you were arrested, how many times were you arrested first? We arrested at one shot for multiple
I was
robberies?
arrested one time for these crimes, but I had a couple of arrests for possession because I'd been a drug addict for 2 years by the time I was arrested. It only took 2 years of heroin to take me from NYU and the publishing world to prisons and shooting galleries.
How old were you? How old were you when you started?
I was a kid. I tried heroin at the age of 22.
Wow.
And I was 25 when I was sent upstate.
Why did you even? I mean, you're a smart boy. You're college educated. Why did you even think about using drugs or heroin?
Because I was a smart boy. Because I thought I was so smart that the consequences wouldn't follow me. I thought I was a fool. A lot of Jews have this kind of searching for something supernatural or some yearning for some kind of connection to God, looking for the soul. I was looking for something with the help of chemicals. And I went way too far, obviously. I went to the worst and hardest of drugs, and I was almost immediately addicted. And, it was $100 a day, and I was working as a tutor.
You started.
I worked for Princeton Review.
Right, before you started,
SAT prep.
Heroin's usually not somebody's gateway drug, so you start with...
No, I hadn't started with heroin. I smoked pot in high school, and then in NYU I did coke. And
right.
So you are against even pot, am I correct?
I am. I really am. I'm against the legalization of drugs totally. And I'm also very much not about prisoners' rights, but about victims' rights.
Wow.
That's what we want to hear. It's very interesting that you're saying that. Now, my dear friend over here is going to ask you about bail reform. Go ahead.
Before we do, could you
it's
just give
a nightmare what they're doing.
Right, could you give us just, obviously, you got arrested at the age of 25. What did you get arrested? How many robberies were you charged with? 5 counts of armed robbery. They were all committed in 1 week of the summer of 2003. Okay, what was you said? You pled guilty or you went to trial? I didn't go to trial. I would have gotten 25 for each one at trial. Right. No, I was obviously guilty. So they gave me 12 flat. They gave you 12? Only later on did I realize that other people were getting like 5 years. Yeah, you didn't get a good deal. Because I never touched a person. I'm very embarrassed to say I scared people. Right. But I never hurt anybody. Many of the times I would get a no, and I had a pizza thrown in my face, and I ran away. Wow. I really wasn't very good at this. Which county were you being which county were you being prosecuted in? I'm sorry. Say again. You said you got arrested. You got charged with 5 robberies. Which county was it? Was it Manhattan? Yeah, well, Manhattan was, in those days at least, Manhattan was known for being hard on crime. The judge was named Yates. He died right after. I knew Judge Yates. Yeah.
Now he wouldn't even get jail time. He would get a pizza and go home.
No, I would get a pizza. But listen, no, I wouldn't because I'm the wrong demographic.
No, you wouldn't get.
You'd get a slice.
You know why I got 12 flat? Because my lawyer said why? Why is this person with an education, his family sitting right here, his father is a writer, his mother is a Citibank executive. Why is this person getting the absolute max? And the judge said, look at him. Look at his background. Well, he's one who should have known better.
Oh, so you got the reverse. You got the reverse discrimination sentence.
Well, there's a certain name for it. Tom Wolfe wrote it in Bonfire of the Vanities. It's called the Great White Defendant.
Yes.
When you finally get a legitimately guilty white defendant.
Exactly.
Who's like someone who made the wrong choice knowingly.
Dan, I want to ask you a question. You had armed robbery. How did you rob them? With a gun?
I had a camping. No, I never had. I wouldn't know how to shoot. I had the same knife I used to go camping with.
So a knife is called armed robbery?
In New York State.
Of course it is.
It's a
In New
weapon.
York State, any weapon it makes a robbery in the first
you
degree.
shouldn't minimize that because
Alvin Bragg
some stranger shows you a knife in the street.
Right.
I'd be scared.
Yeah, Alvin Bragg. I'm glad you mentioned it because Alvin Bragg, who's now the current DA in Manhattan, he came out with a memo that if armed robberies wouldn't be charged as felonies, and now I think he's kind of stepped back, but he said if it's a gun as opposed to another weapon, under New York law, any weapon, even a baseball bat, could make it a robbery in the first degree, and the minimum sentence is 5 years, and the maximum sentence is 25 years. So it seems like Judge Yates.
That's exactly what I was told.
Yes,
and I was told I should be grateful for the 12 flat. I did 10 years and 3 months.
Right.
Dan,
but when I met other people, I never met anyone who had as much time.
Yeah, but I want to tell you, but
And,
also
I
that's
didn't
the
have
great.
any kind of record.
But then, no offense, you had no record, which is why you shouldn't have got. Which is why it's kind of surprising you got a double digit.
but they knew also
on your
that
first one. But
they also knew he was sick on drugs. But Dan, my question to you is how much did you make on these robberies?
Oh my God! I made $700, and that's only because one guy happened to have a lot of money on him. I was the worst. I'm telling you, I was scared. I didn't know what I was doing. I was desperate.
But after you
I had
saw
$100 a day habit,
but
and
after
my credit card ran out.
But after you saw, like anybody, that you're not making money doing robberies and you're not doing a good job on it, why do you?
Yeah, that's why I gave up. So that's interesting. I only got caught 3 months afterwards. So after that week of doing the robberies, I realized that I'm not making any money and I'm taking enormous risks and I'm really doing the wrong thing. Because if I was on the other end, I really wouldn't want to be in that position. Right. So I'm very ashamed of myself. So I threw away that knife down the sewer and everything. So for 3 months, I didn't do anything. I was a quiet boy. The cops who caught me later on said that they checked the morgues and the jail because they figured the only way a guy doing a pattern crime stops is by dying or getting locked up for something else.
That's usually true, by the way. That's usually true.
So how did they catch you? How did they know it was you?
So they caught me. I got what I deserved. I relapsed. I went right back to the same place where I used to buy the dope, and I got another. It was 3 months after the robberies, November 13th. And on the same block where I had actually robbed somebody, the person saw me, and they followed me to Barnes & Noble. They called the police, and they stood outside of Barnes & Noble to make sure I don't get away.
Why didn't you think of like disappearing out of town? This way you'd never get caught and they'd forget about it.
Because I was, first of all, my thinking wasn't normal because I'm relapsing on drugs already. I'm not myself. And second of all, after 3 months had passed, I guess I was hoping
your
that
logic,
I'd gotten away with it.
Right. Your logic was, I got away with it. It's 3 months already.
If I could interject.
Yes, I had also gotten married, and I was really just hoping that this idiotic thing I did would pass without consequences. Right. But life doesn't work that way.
That's true.
And in fact, it's probably for the best because, I might be dead of an overdose or I might have committed a crime where I hurt somebody.
And you turned your life around.
Today I'm a writer. I have a book coming out. I have, interest from Los Angeles.
You wouldn't have all this to write about had this not happened.
It's very hard to get published. It's very hard.
You made it work for you.
Same woman. Well, I did, but I wouldn't recommend this path to anybody.
No, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. I guess I do have some questions because right now, obviously, the biggest thing in New York is the crime.
But this new DA, he's the biggest criminal out there.
I agree with you.
I don't understand how this could be happening.
I agree with you, and Eric Gonzalez is not that far behind. But that being said, when it comes to liberal DAs are ruining this country, but at the same time, I guess my question to you is obviously bail reform is a hot topic, and
do you know how much bail I was given? By the way, for what I did, I was given $150,000 cash.
By the way, that's in Manhattan. That's reasonable bail for what you did, and that you would have been.
And my family was not willing to pay.
Right, but bail would be set on pattern robberies like that. In Brooklyn, the truth is, he probably have been held on $25,000 bail. even for 5
Wow,
robberies.
that's a big difference.
Yeah, well, I could speaking from speaking from experience. It used to be before crossing that bridge would make your would expose you to a bigger punishment by going over the Brooklyn Bridge from Brooklyn to Manhattan. But just going back to it now, obviously these days, I mean, robbery in the first degree is technically covered by the statute that you could still get bail on, but Mr. Bragg would charge you probably a pet larceny or even robbery in the third degree, which you get out on. You'd be ultimately entitled to.
What is robbery in the third? What is robbery in the third degree?
So okay,
That's
robbery,
strong arm robbery.
Right. So robbery. In New York State, robbery is defined as the taking of property
By force.
with the threat of use of force. If there's nothing else, that's robbery in the third degree. If you try to punch a guy, or even if you just grab you do a chain snatch, that could be robbery in the third degree. Robbery in the second degree is either when this committed by two more people, or there's force used where there's an injury, or there's a use of something that looks like a gun that's not a gun. And then robbery in the first degree is either there's injury with two people doing an injury, or the most common is with using a weapon.
Somebody sent on the super chat, please ask Dan to explain how to cook Jack Mac. I had to look it up. Mac is canned mackerel.
I've done a lot of articles.
Okay, let me read what it says over here. People don't know what Jack Mac is. It's canned mackerel or other fish available from the prison commissary. Can be used as currency with other inmates or placed in a sock and used as a weapon. No. So you know how to cook it?
Absolutely. I was great at it. It's the cheapest source of protein in the world. You're paying 79 cents for 72 grams of protein.
Wow.
But you're getting a lot of like slime and innards along with that, plus the brine it's in. It's not a can of tuna. I'll tell you that. It's got
Dan, let's go back to...
I want to ask Dan. Dan, you were in jail for 10 years. I mean, you were there with murderers and rapists.
Every day I spent 7 years in the maxes.
Wow. That's, but you weren't
And I spent 7 years with Jews in the maxes who weren't ever getting out. You know?
Yeah, but you weren't scared. I mean, how did you protect yourself? What did you do that they didn't come after you?
Of course I was scared, especially because from the very moment I'd say something, they all knew that I was out of place. I wasn't where I belonged. So I had to decide, really, when I got in there, I had to either pretend my whole time to be somebody who's interested in, I don't know, motorcycles and pit bulls and shotguns or whatever, which just wasn't me. I was interested in Latin and history. So what I did was I decided to be myself, but just, avoid certain topics. Mostly they start with the letter P. Don't mention both parents. Don't mention having a passport. Don't mention having been in Paris. Lots of P words that you don't talk about. Right. No one in jail has a father. Father's Day is never talked about. Right. So I would only talk about my mother. I learned how to get by without actually lying, but just omitting things that would irritate people.
Has your family taken? So they think I'm. Dan, has your family accepted you back with already?
Well, let me. I'm going to answer that question. My family's been nothing but good to me. But at the same time, I wouldn't say I'm totally forgiven. What I did was incredibly disappointing to my parents, who are successful immigrants. They came to America to have a wonderful life and worked hard. I'm an only child. So I understand when they're not as forgiving as maybe somebody who was expecting something like this to happen. My parents didn't even know I ever tried drugs when they found out about all this. Because I'd been keeping it all secret.
Right. So, Dan, I guess my question is, where's your view on all these, there is the bail reform, which wasn't around when you got arrested.
This is a nightmare. I've already heard about guys who got let out because they weren't on bail and committed horrible crimes when they should have been inside.
Well,
so these are crimes that wouldn't have happened if they'd simply been held like they would have been normally. I mean, bail is there for a reason. It's to protect society from people who are clearly not playing along with the social contract.
Right. And you also...
And if you're...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just saying that we're talking about violent offenders. We're not talking about people who get caught smoking pot.
Right. I think
We're not talking about that. That's what everybody thinks. They all imagine their hippie friend who went to the park to smoke a joint and got arrested. That's not what we're talking about.
Right.
We're talking about people who are in gangs, who are selling narcotics, who walk around with a gun. You know, if you're walking around with a gun, you're going to shoot it eventually.
You're right, and I guess
that's why you get a lot of time for that.
It's true. So I guess my other question to you is, Rikers Island is Bill de Blasio's big claim is that he was closing Rikers Island.
That's such a crock. For what? What will be different about having a lot of small bad prisons? Just because Rikers Island holds a lot of prisoners doesn't mean that they're innocent.
That's fair.
I mean, is there an argument being made that the people in Rikers Island are innocent? I've never heard that.
There's another thing also. Part of the reason I think that they want to build all these little places, different places, is because they say something about the fact that how horrible Rikers Island is, and they want to make it more humane.
But
and I mean,
horrible.
Maybe put them up in the Four Seasons, you know?
No, you can't.
It's horrible
I
because of what the people who are there are doing.
Incorrect.
I think Dan is right, by the way.
No,
Dan
because
is right.
look at the Queens. I just read something that the Queens lockup had complaints with OSHA, and they're just in such disgusting conditions. What do you want when you put 12 men in a room? Of course, they're going to make dirty mess. You have to clean up every day.
But the problem, I think what Dan is trying to say, the reason that the jails have as decrepit as they are and the conditions are there is because of the inmates who are in there. It's not because of... inmates are there.
There's more money spent on prisoners in America than any other country on earth. America's the only country with an obesity problem in prison.
Right, that's true.
Wow.
No, he's right.
Yeah, it's a very undisciplined, lazy country, and where people could get away, and there's nothing. They're not teaching the children how to act properly. They're putting garbage in their head nowadays. They're not teaching them
that's
anything.
The job of parents, though. I don't think that's the job of the
school.
government
It's
at
the
all.
school also. I'm sorry. The schools are. Some of them are brainwashing, and they want to brainwash our children even more.
I went to public school and I got a great education. Of course, I went to Stuyvesant High School, so I was. Are you going to call that privilege because I went to Stuyvesant? I took a test.
Right.
I got in.
He passed. He did well.
Dan, how old?
I also got a great SAT score. You going to kill me for that too?
Dan, how old are you, Dan?
I turned 44 this year. I'm getting old.
You're younger than me, my friend.
But Dan, you're younger than me. But Dan,
I spent the years from 25 to 35 in prison, in serious hardcore prison.
now, Dan, my question to you is when you're an alcoholic or a drug user, you never really are off of it. I mean, they say any time. No? But my question is, do you think...
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even though I've been clean for years, I mean, I'm blessed every day that I'm not using.
But you are tempted, or you ever think about it?
Well, it's been kind of a while, and I do live a fairly, domestic married life. I go on vacation.
Do you have any children?
Well, that's the problem because no, we don't, because me and my wife, we missed the prime childbearing years when I was inside. We got married the year I got locked up. She waited.
She waited 10 years for you?
She did.
Wow.
What a woman, right?
What a woman.
A great woman.
What a good woman. I mean,
a great woman. And she's beautiful. If you're imagining someone who didn't have any other options, you're wrong. She's gorgeous. I don't deserve her.
I agree with you. Love, you look at me. I have Linda. I don't deserve it. Well, maybe I don't want to deserve her. I'm joking. I've been with
I heard about the yogurt.
32 years with that woman. I don't deserve it. No, she's a good girl, and I understand. Love is just something, an emotion. Even when I argue with Linda, sometimes I miss her when she runs away. I don't tell her, but I do miss her, even though she's not home for the day or she's with her mother. But you are very cool, Dan. Dan, I do want to ask you a question before Ezra goes back. You have now changed your life. You are, where do you live, by the way? What city?
I live in Flatbush.
Okay, so you
I
what
live on
about?
Goshen Avenue.
So
Has she inviting him over for a Shabbos meal?
Yes, I want you to come for a Shabbos meal to my house
And bring your beautiful, gorgeous
bring your
wife.
gorgeous wife. I hope she knows how to cook because Linda doesn't know how to cook. But
Hey.
I'm joking. It's always a joke.
God, that jewelry piece better be huge.
Oh God, I'm broke. Ezra,
I
can
know
you?
a very good jeweler, by the way.
Ezra,
Me too. I could point you out to a few jewelry
you know,
stores.
Ezra, I'm going to break in your house and steal that beautiful toilet bowl. You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
What did you get? A
I don't even
Toto?
know these days.
What'd you get him?
We're waiting on the plumbing
I have
permits.
to. I have to buy. I have the plumbing permit. Dan.
Tell him you want a high-end toilet.
Dan, very important. You after serving 10 years, did you have probation afterwards?
Parole. I had 5 years of
You
it.
had 5 years of post-release?
Yes.
And you cleared, you had any problems with it? Any violations on it?
No.
All right,
No.
okay.
No.
But Dan, you
But I saw pretty much everybody I knew got violated.
Wow.
I didn't meet
Yeah.
a single person who didn't have a violation.
That's pretty
But
true.
that's
That's
because nobody I met ever, got a job and stopped using drugs.
Wow.
So
and drugs is.
He should have never done 10 to 12 years,
Doesn't
whatever
make
he
no-
did, 10
but
years
Dan,
and 10 months.
Now I don't understand. Drugs is illegal in the world. How does drugs get into jail? I mean, you know that there's a lot of drugs.
they're expensive, but they're available all the time.
What do you mean by
$50
expensive?
for a proper dose of dope?
What do you mean expensive? How do people have money in jail? There's no money allowed.
Sure there is.
Well, this is what you do. First of all, packs of cigarettes and stamps are your cash and your change. Okay? When I was inside, a pack of Newports was worth $10 in commissary or as cash. So if you give 5 packs of Newports, you get 1 bag of dope. And that bag of dope will get you high for a whole day.
How did you get
So
the bag of
$50
dope?
a day.
How did they get the
Well,
bag of
there's
dope?
guys who make a living out of this. Their wives bring it in, and it comes in a balloon, and then that balloon goes in their tuchus, and it goes back inside in their tuchus. Then it comes out with the help of some shampoo, and it gets sold.
But
And it's really the most
what I
wanted,
understand.
desirable commodity.
But today in jails, they don't even let now with the corona women and men touch each other or hug each other. Maybe in the federal jail, how do they smuggle it in then?
You know something? I can't venture to speak on this because I've been out for 7 years. I don't know what they're doing with dope. I'm absolutely positive that there's still drugs in prison.
Do the guards?
they used to send LSD under stamps.
He doesn't want to talk about it. Who knows who's watching him now?
Are the guards involved by any chance? Are the guards involved?
Oh, the guards! I'll tell you, I saw guards involved in that kind of stuff on Rikers Island. But upstate, the guards are they come from the rural counties up there, and they don't have any connection to drug world or anything. But the guards on Rikers Island, they all come from the exact same neighborhoods as the criminals, so they all know each other.
So,
I mean, it's like sometimes you'll have a brother guarding a brother, or an uncle guarding his nephew, or the other way around.
It's true. I mean, especially on Rikers Island, everybody's uncle.
Yeah, so I mean, I
uncle's
used
a
to
CO.
smoke cigarettes. I would buy my tobacco from a guard for $10 for a finger of broken up tobacco.
wow. But now, doesn't the warden know what's going on? Is the warden that stupid?
He's getting a cut.
The wards are never there. The wards are never there.
They're never there. The warden's on the phone all day.
Just
There's
as long as he
people
gets
below
his
him,
cut,
deputies,
right?
No, the wards
deputies.
never there.
How do
I
you
don't
know?
know. No, you get in trouble. I mean, every now and then there's cops, correctional officers getting locked up for all kinds of stuff. I remember one guy got locked up for putting pup kittens into a trash compactor.
Wow.
That's the kind of people they are. But you know something that really is just a job. And there's different guys. Some are just doing their jobs. Some are sadistic. It depends.
Yeah, the sadistic ones. And they'll go, are there any good ones?
Of course there are. Listen, there was a Jewish cop who used to come and do kiddush with us. Yeah.
Wow, very nice, very interesting. Wow, Dan, you did it. You did it the hard way, and I'm proud of you that you came back so well.
What's the name of your book?
Sentence. By Daniel Genis. It's out from Viking on the 22nd of February. It's all over the internet. I've done a lot of press for it, and there'll be a lot more. There's an extract
So
in Hartford this month.
You can't get it until February 22nd.
I'm afraid not. That's the release date.
Okay, that's the release
don't
date.
have
And
a
you could
copy
order
yet.
it on where? On Amazon? On
Oh, Amazon, BarnesNoble.com, Target.com, everything. Amazon, it's really widely available.
Daniel, I just want to say something. I mean, I'm really impressed by speaking to you. You don't sound like you're bitter about what happened to you. You've accepted your responsibility.
How can I be? My fault.
You know what? As I said, I've been a defense attorney for over 23 years. I could just tell you that I'm very impressed that you just took a responsibility. You changed your life. And I really wish you continued success.
But Dan, I want you to join in with some. I want you to join with some of our conversation. But my question to you, and our last question about your jail thing, when you went in and you knew you had 10 years to go, did you think about committing a suicide or depression? What was your thinking going into? Were you giving up? What was your?
I saw successful suicides and I saw attempts, and that's just terrifying. I always figure if there's just one more thing to live for, then you should live. And sometimes it's as simple as breakfast pizza. They used to serve it on Fridays. Live for the breakfast pizza. I was always reading, and I always had the next book I wanted to read. So I lived for that, Wow. I always had the phone call to my wife. I always had the letter I was going to write. I also wrote a lot of fiction and nonfiction. I kept myself very busy. I exercised a lot. So I made sure to have my life full of positive things. I went to Jewish services, and
Do you believe Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide, or he was killed?
Yeah, I wrote an article about this for the Daily News. I believe he committed suicide. And people don't like hearing that because they want to, Jeffrey Epstein's such a disgusting person. It's desirable to think that someone got him. And it also seems like he knew stuff. They needed to silence him. But the thing is that I also know what the security is like in these places. And for there to be a conspiracy for murderers to come in and hang him, that would mean the whole prison had to be involved in the conspiracy.
So you don't think Bill Clinton is that powerful?
Conspiracies with so many people are just impossible.
So you don't buy the Bill Clinton?
One second, you're saying if there was the conspiracy at the prison, everybody had to know about it?
No, everybody had to. There
could be conspiracy without everybody knowing it.
No, he's right.
Not everyone, but a lot.
You have to have the CEO. You have to have the CEOs, the inmates. Yeah. You have to have CEOs, inmates, and the outside world.
But my question to you, Dan, is...
And once you involve the inmates, that's when it really gets outrageous, because inmates will sell you out the moment they have any benefit.
I agree with you. I don't think
they'll do anything.
I agree with Daniel about this. I really do.
But Dan, I don't think he would have gotten 100 years. He would have gotten.
It doesn't matter what he would have gotten.
Yeah, so nobody kills. Look at Dan. That's why I asked Dan that question.
No, he would have gotten life. Come on,
he wasn't getting out. He wasn't getting out. He wasn't. He already got a slap on the wrist the first time he did it.
Okay.
Well, it's outrageous what happened the first time.
Yes.
I mean, Acosta belonged in jail, not just...
Agreed. I agree.
But usually what I understand is the first time you get probation or 3 years, the second time you get 10 years, and then afterwards you get life. And he really, according to what I understand, is, of course he did statutory rape, but a lot of the girls...
statutory rape.
The girls came willingly.
No, he didn't.
That's what I heard.
No, he was
you can't give consent as a 14-year-old.
A child is not willingly. He manipulated them.
I agree.
The guy's a piece of dirt. 6 feet under is a gift.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. I see. You guys are right, and I do agree with you 100% on that. Anybody who
usually have it.
Anybody who hurts a child or rapes a child,
and it's also he's right. Daniel was about to say sex offenders usually have the hardest time in prison.
They have a hard time in jail. They're the prime targets for rape themselves.
Right.
However, Jeffrey Epstein had enough money that he would have actually probably had no problems whatsoever.
Right, but he wasn't.
He would have just bought his safety.
That's probably true also.
Wow. And it wouldn't have been much, a couple packs of cigarettes every day.
No. Michael Alec used to pay $100 a week.
Wow.
100. That's $5,000 a year just for it's good.
That was to be able to use the phone whenever he wanted. Wow. You guys know who I'm talking about? Michael Alec, Party Monster.
Yes.
Well,
you Dan
he's dead. He overdosed last Christmas.
Wow. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
In jail.
It didn't really make the news much.
In jail.
No, he overdosed in freedom. He was released the same year I was, but he immediately became a crackhead, and it went very poorly for him. Wow. I knew him. I knew him inside, and I knew him outside. I reviewed his gallery. He had artwork and in the gallery. I really tried to help him, but he was just determined to be a drug user.
Now,
I'd never seen anyone so determined.
What jails were you in? What were the names of the jails you were in?
Well, okay, so the one that you might know is Greenhaven.
Yes.
Because Greenhaven has the only hot kosher kitchen.
Okay.
I go visit that.
I was there for 4 years, and that's where I met a lot of the well-known Jewish prisoners inside, as well as the rabbis. I was also in the other maxes, Eastern, 5 Points, and Coxsackie.
What about Shorgan?
Shawangunk, that's where Son of Sam is.
Right. I want to ask you, did you meet him or did you go there?
So I was in the parking lot of it in a bus, and they showed me Son of Sam. They said, that's him. But you know what? I think it might have been somebody else. They would say that's anybody. Doesn't say anything.
I used to go there every 2
Tourist
weeks.
attractions.
I used to go to Shwagahang to visit every 2 weeks. People there. Now I go to Fishkill to visit, but I'm switching now. They're switching me to Greenhaven. I go up and visit the prisoners.
I was in Fishkill for a year and in Greenhaven for 4 years. You're gonna end up talking to people I know if you talk to the Jews there. I know all of them.
Seems like
Ryan
I do.
Marmelstein, he's
Okay.
Philip Drellick is in.
Let's not name drop.
The whole chevra's up there.
Let's not name drop.
Stop, guys. There's always somebody. Listen, we all sometimes lose it and miss. Get off the. We lose ourselves.
Get off the track.
We get off the track. But I'm so proud of you, Dan, that you've come back. You've shown us what people can be determined to change their lives.
Thank you, but
to get
I really
off.
think I only did what I was supposed to. I mean, I don't think I did anything special.
Well, you know what?
I did what anybody
that's
should.
refreshing. That's actually very.
Yeah.
I say, look, coming from where I was a public defender for 18 and a half years, and I'm just saying it's very. And I'm a defense attorney even after that, but I'm just saying it's very refreshing to hear somebody speak like that.
People tell me, thank you, Heshy, for helping us. I tell them you're wrong. That's what I'm responsible. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing nothing special like an angel. Maybe I have some powers or friends that can do a little bit more than the others, but it's a responsibility of my freedom to help others in their freedom. And Dan, thank you so much for calling into the show. May God bless you. Dan, you have my number. I want you and your wife to come over for a Shabbos meal.
Well, thank you.
I'm going to come over when you come over. I want to meet you too.
Okay, let's do it. Sure.
Okay, we can't invite Ezra. He has too many in the family.
My baby is
I'll be in touch.
I'm not
Thanks
even scared.
for having me.
I'm not okay. Goodbye, Dan. Thank you so much.
Bye. Good night.
Right, good night.
I'm not scared of you, Ezra, bringing the 5 kids. I'm scared you might bring your mother-in-law along, and that's going to kill the whole thing.
She's a good woman.
But I want you to know, guys, while our show is coming to an end, your governor, who was not elected properly, you know that even though the government, right? Explain it to me.
All right, so
the governor said the court says no mandates.
Well,
we have so much money, we're so broke, but the governor is able to go back to court and sue us and change the law again.
So let's go back to this, okay?
It's even crazy that they're trying to do it right now because everything is coming out, how so many lies have been told.
So we've discussed this before, right? The reason the judge basically found that the executive order was unconstitutional for the same reasons we mentioned here on the show before, is because there's a system in America and a system in New York also. The legislature legislates, the executive executes. Under executive orders, the governor, who's the head of executive, has became a super legislature, and that's, the judge really found very clearly that it was unlawful for that. And I know we're running too late. I was going to quote some of the things the judge said, but if you read the opinion, it's a very
Go ahead. We'll give you a minute or two. Go ahead. Talk.
So it's basically said it's evident that the legislature of the state of New York is the branch of government charged with enacting laws, and the executive branch is charged with enforcing law. To some extent, this clear division of authority and responsibility is blurred and difficult to define in many instances, particularly when the state agency enacts administrative rules that relate to the law. But when the line of authority begins and ends lies at the core of our constitutionally established form of representative government. At the heart of the present case is the question of whether this broad grant of authority contravened the oversight principle that the legislative
You're speaking over my head. Basically,
of government cannot cede its fundamental policy-making responsibility to the administrative agency. So this is what goes on. I've been saying this from the very beginning. the legislature, until Andrew Cuomo started getting into trouble, was basically hands off. Do whatever you want, Gov. And they did legislate.
But I disagree even with that. I mean, when they create new, I understand the legislators have to create new laws. Right. But I don't believe that 51 people or 250 state senators and assemblymen have a right to again impose their will on us.
Okay.
These laws should be voted on, yes or no, and then at the end given to the public to vote on.
Well, that's unfortunately the way our republic is set up. Is we elect people to make laws that we're going to be bound by.
To make laws, but not to enact it till we agree on it.
That's not true. That's not true. If you don't, the way we agree or not agree is the ballot box.
Right.
There's no. That's the ballot box. Every 2 to 4 years, we get to reelect our legislators.
But both sides, whoever you're voting, Republican or Democrat,
that's
pretty
the
much have
Everybody
the same
got brainwashed.
thinking.
Everybody got brainwashed.
You know, look at Ina Venikova. She promised to do
Heshy, tread carefully.
The thing is, I like Ina Venikova.
Let me just, with that, I agree. I know
there's nothing not to like about her. She does her job and she does it well.
What job has she done?
Excuse me. She first of all, she's busy battling everything.
Busy battling what? She wants us to take our vaccines.
Okay, no, she doesn't.
She does
no,
too.
she doesn't.
She does
She
too.
wants you to have your own individual right to do what you want to do. She wants to make sure that you're protected when you're in the street and that you're not attacked because you're a Jew or you're something else. She wants to make sure that you're not thrown in front of the train. She wants to make sure of a lot of things, Heshy. She keeps you safe. You want to say thank you to her? I want to say thank you to Barry Spitzer for taking care of buses and other problems in the street. Big shout out to Barry Spitzer and Ina Vernikov.
Look at this. Go on. And let me tell you, Barry Spitz is a crook.
Okay, I'm going to start. First of all, no, he hasn't. Excuse me. Excuse me. He has a very hard job.
What hard job?
Excuse me.
He
All
sits
day
on his
long,
Stop.
all
Let
day
him
long,
talk.
constituents are calling him. I don't want to stop talking. I think somebody needs to cut out his mic, like right now. Okay. Your mic's not working. Oh my God, that's so cute. What are you saying? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I'd like to apologize to you, Sawyer. Can I?
9:57. We have 3 more minutes. What were you saying about legislature? I'm sorry. As you were saying, I'm sorry. I can't hear you.
I want to finish something.
I want to. You want to start something.
I want to tell
and what
you
you
that
want to start
just
is
because because you don't know something, like a woman, nobody can hear me.
Speaking about women, we really need to get.
Stop. Okay.
You are terrible, Toy. And I want you to know, not only that, I wasn't going to say a bad word about Ina.
You're going to give me a pay cut?
I'm not going to give you a pay cut.
You're not going to give me pay either. Okay. I'm sorry. You were saying?
No. I'm going to say something.
No. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's too far.
I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, fine. Well, she's doing an awesome job.
What?
She's doing a lot.
She's doing a lot.
Yes, she is.
See, Sawyer.
She's by every single city meeting, anything affecting us, for any rules and laws. She's not for vaccine mandates. She's for your right, for your individual right.
She's not.
Yes, she is.
She's pushing the
Okay, keep saying whatever you want to say. Boo-hoo.
Heshy. I think we're about to end, but just before we do, you asked the question. So what happened is this: after the judge ruled on the mask mandate, said it's unconstitutional, the governor went back and appealed. Prior to the appeal, the governor filed what's called a request for a stay, pending appeal, and.
It's wrong what she did.
Right, and an appellate judge.
Here, this is who you should be bad-mouthing.
No, we should be bad-mouthing everyone.
Well, I should be bad-mouthing Carmen Yeager.
No, you shouldn't.
Everyone.
Oh, you know who's coming to town? The president.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That's
Carmen
what
Yeager.
We need to start preparing spitballs and things.
they can't do that.
Oh, you can't do that?
Maybe Carmen Yeager
Shoot.
should meet the president because
Yeah.
you know
Oh my gosh, it's 10 o'clock. Good night, everybody. Play the music.